Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pro Seller Talk Presents. Last week we didn't have any episodes. Like I told you guys, I had to travel. I went to California for a PPI conference with Jim Cochran and Brett Bartlett. Awesome conference. I was in a lot of pain for it, as everybody probably knows already, but I had some tooth problems going on. Flight didn't really agree with me too much with that. But to get right to why we're here tonight, I'm so excited to bring Greg Mercia. I've had Greg before on the show. Greg is awesome. Jungle Scout, rocks, rules, whatever you want to say. We use it. You know, it's a great tool. I'm excited to see the updates he has with it, the new additions that are coming out. He's got some great things coming out. Again, guys, he's the founder of Jungle Scout, a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure you guys are going to learn a lot tonight from Greg. Hey, Greg. Good to see you.
Hey, John. Thanks again for having me on. I'm really excited to be here tonight. I got some great information prepared for everyone, so I think it's going to be really good.
Awesome. Whenever you're ready, you can get started.
Okay, cool. I'll just start real quick by introducing myself to anyone who doesn't know who I am. So let's see. I guess I would start my career maybe about 5 years ago. I was working as a civil engineer. I wasn't very fulfilled. I wasn't very happy with it. My whole life had this like strong entrepreneurial spirit, want to be an engineer. So I started selling on Amazon to be able to get out of my day job. So within like a year or two, I was able to go full time selling on Amazon. And shortly after that, I found this pain point, that like was stopping me from scaling my business. And that was finding additional SKUs or additional profitable products to add to my lineup. And that is how Jungle Scout was born. So I'm like a data nerd, an engineer type person. So like I love the numbers. I love looking at the, all the data and the numbers and everything else that goes behind these products instead of like making decisions based off of my gut feeling, which at the time I realized that like that's what a lot of people were doing, which can be very dangerous. So that's how Jungle Scout was born. Since then, so it was about 2.5 years ago now. Since then, Jungle Scout has grown a lot. It's turned into a very robust product. And I'll talk about that a little bit more tonight. But I also, more importantly, just want to kind of talk about, like, if you're watching this, either how do you find your first product to start selling on Amazon, or how do you find additional products to add to your lineup? And with that also being said, the Amazon landscape has been changing over the years. Like I said, I started selling on Amazon about 5 years ago. So 5 years ago is much different than today. That's not necessarily saying it's like harder. I think a lot of people think like, oh man, it's too hard now. And that's not the case at all. There's still like tons of good opportunities. I'm still launching new products myself. It's just different, right? You have to keep different things in mind when you're selecting products. And yeah, I'm going to go over some of that tonight. And then John, feel free.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the chat for you and make sure that as we get questions, I'll let you know.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So I'm going to start just by, I have a few slides here, and then after that, I'm going to go over, just to kind of let you guys look over my shoulders. I do some product research myself. Can you just confirm you can see my screen?
I can see it fine. I'm not seeing anybody else saying anything in the chat yet. So,
okay.
You guys see Greg's? Yep, they're saying they can see it.
All right, sweet. All right, so like I said, we're going to go over tonight finding a profitable product to sell on Amazon. And before we do so, I kind of want to, I guess, do a little bit of a humble brag here. So 14 months ago, I launched this product called Jungle Sticks. Okay, these are these bamboo marshmallow sticks. They're on Amazon right now. If you search marshmallow sticks, they'll probably be in one of the top couple spots. And this product's been doing very well. We did about 100, this is our sales from 2016. So this was January 1st to December 31st, 2016. So it did about $190,000 in sales. And of that, about $43,000 in profit. So it was pretty good for just one product. All the profit was also donated to Doctors Without Borders, a charity. So it's like a really cool project. And with this, what I kind of trying to show everyone about like launching a product publicly like this is that it is a very like repeatable and scalable blueprint. It's like this one product did roughly 200,000 a year. It's like if you had 5 of these and you're all of a sudden you're doing $1 million a year, right? And about $250,000 in profit. So, the easiest way to scale or to start, the easiest way to start Amazon is of course to launch a product. The easiest way to scale is to launch additional SKUs. And yeah, I found a very, like repeatable system, which is what enabled me to, like launch this one product publicly and it be pretty successful. So yeah. So how do we find these products? Like I'm sure everyone on here with like a bunch of products that sell 200K a year, 1 or 2 or 100, I'm sure we'd all love. And how has that changed from when I launched this like 14 months ago? Okay. So one thing that, there's a few things now that like are a little bit more important. So I'm sure a lot of the listeners know, but back on like October 3rd of last year, so 2016, Amazon banned incentivized reviews. So no longer can you offer a discount or any type of incentive to get a review from a shopper. So this changes the landscape a little bit because we have to be more mindful of this when we launch new products. We can't launch a brand new product and on day one get dozens and dozens of reviews. Also, I would say that the landscape is more competitive. There's more shoppers, but there's also more sellers on there. So it is more competitive if you go after like these like Me Too niches or like, after like the same things that everyone else is selling, okay? And you've probably seen a lot of these products. So like the exercise bands, the garlic press, the watermelon slicer, the water bottle. These are the things that there's like hundreds of sellers all selling the same thing. And these are not good opportunities. These are the type of people that tell you like, oh, Amazon's too competitive now. Like I tried to sell something and it didn't do well. It's like, no, you're just selling the same thing as what 1,000 other sellers are selling. You need to think outside the box a little. It's also more important than ever to be focusing on quality. So over time, if you have a product that's not of high quality and doesn't get good reviews, it's not going to sell well. Okay. So with the incentivized review thing, as a lot of people know, these incentivized reviews oftentimes were like a little bit better than what like an average normal shopper would give. So a lot of times like people could kind of like fudge it a little bit, right? Like these people were more likely to get 4 or 5-star reviews. So like it kind of bumped it up a little bit more, right? Well, we can't do that anymore. So it's more important than ever to focus on quality. And we also, I love now focusing on how we can like differentiate our product from other people or add value that other people aren't doing. So I'll give some more examples of that tonight, but adding value might be like bundling it or giving even just like a little like book or instructions or whatever else. Product differentiation. My favorite way to do that would be to read the bad reviews and make small changes that other people aren't doing. So if the reviews say, hey, this product's breaking because the wire snaps, then like, okay, we need like a little bit thicker wire, heavier duty wire, right? So one thing that's not on here, I also like to go after niches that are even like more obscure or like a little bit less competitive than ever before now. And I'm going to give some more examples of that a little bit later. So with Amazon, I talk to sellers all the time. I'm talking to new sellers and experienced sellers, $1 million sellers. The one thing that always scares me when I hear from people is like when they tell me like my gut feeling is saying that like this product's going to do well, or like my mom said that she's been looking for this product on Amazon, hasn't been able to find it. Therefore, I know that there's also hundreds of other people looking for this product. That is extremely risky. Okay. And I would not recommend this. Instead, I can't emphasize this enough. Just go after products that have existing demand on Amazon. So we already know that there's a whole bunch of people, typing in like the Amazon search bar for a whole bunch of different products, clicking the buy button and purchasing it, right? So let's just give them those products. These people are already looking for it. We don't have to make up this demand. We don't have to like try to educate the public that this type of product exists. Instead, let's just give the people what they want. I'm also looking for something that's like low competition. So of course there's tons of products that sell really well, but we're looking for the ones that have like the greatest divide of demand and competition. All right. The easiest way to gauge this is we're looking for young niches or like young listings that are doing well in the niche. And the easiest way to gauge how like young or new a listing is how many reviews they have. So I like to look for like 1 or 2, maybe 3 products with under 40 reviews in the top 10 spots for my main keyword. So if I search water bottle, I want to see like a few other listings don't have many reviews. And that way I know they're like, okay, this is a pretty like young or immature niche. It's not super competitive. And that's good. That's what I want to sell in. We also need to be thinking about obscure products. If it's like that cool, sexy product that, all the other, that like you would love telling your friends about, and therefore all the other private label sellers are selling, it's more than likely going to be too competitive. So like think like weird products. Like we'll look at some tonight, I'm sure. And it's like, okay, this is like pretty strange. I don't even know what this is, but like people are buying it. So like, let's go for those. And then the other thing is, one area that's definitely less competitive now are more expensive products and larger products. Okay. So yeah, like without a doubt, the smaller and lighter weight the product, the easier it is, the less of a headache. But it's also, there's usually also the products that are a little bit more competitive. So if you're having a hard time finding a niche that meets all this criteria, then maybe you start looking at, instead of like at the $15 to $20 price range, look at the $30 price range or the $40 price range. And same thing with the size. The larger items, there's going to be less sellers on them. And so, a lot of times those are the good opportunities. So let's find some products. So just to start, give me 1 second. I can't. All right. Just to start, I want to show you kind of like the organic way to or the free way to find these products. Okay. So of course, Jungle Scout is a tool that makes this really easy. I understand all the people watching this aren't ready to like purchase a product, or, aren't financially able to like purchase a product, whatever. And that's totally cool too. So I want to give you like an idea, how to find some of these products like without using a tool. Cause I don't want to just sit here and sell this to you. I guess what I have up here right here is my band marshmallow sticks. So if you search marshmallow sticks, I guess this is me right here, and this is us right here. So just to show you that it is a real product. And yeah, it's doing pretty well. So with like the free way, you're gonna need to come up with some product ideas, okay? So an easy way to do this would be like in your everyday life. What products do you come in contact with? You can like keep some notes on your phone. And like when you walk around, say Walmart, Target, whatever else, like look what's on the end caps. Those are usually like popular or new products. You can also just think about like what you're using in your everyday life, and those would be all like product ideas. So since I'm not a very creative guy, I'll look around the room and there's a whiteboard over here. So I came up with the idea of whiteboard. I'm going to search it. Now, remember what I said earlier, like the easiest way to find like the competitions, the number of reviews. So all 3 of these products this is paid to get them there. That's why they have this little sponsor thing here. But these below, these are like what's naturally, organically ranking here. So I'll just look at this top one. Or excuse me, real quick, we're going to look at like the competition. So remember what I said, I like to find like niches that in the top few spots, there's some products with not many reviews, or a few products that have under 40 or 50 reviews. So like 330, 130, 850, 150, 180, 720. So this one has a lot. So this is like too competitive. But let me just show you real quick how you can figure out how many units these products are selling on a monthly basis. So I'm going to click on a product. I'm going to scroll down into the product details section. Did I pass it? There it is. All right. Now the best sellers of this product, I want to look in the parent category, which is office products, and it's 346. So if you go to junglescout.com/estimator, this is a totally free tool that anyone can use. Let's see, what did I say? 346 in office products. So I can go on here, I can click on office products, which is here. I can type in 346. And bam, right there it tells me this particular product sells about 3,200 units per month, which that's a lot. And I believe it. I'm sure there's a lot of these things being sold every month, and this was the best seller in that particular section. So this is like I said, a totally free way so you can just like get your feet wet with Amazon. You can get your feet wet with product research, kind of start to figure out like how it works. And yeah, just a great way to figure out like approximately how many units any particular item is selling for on Amazon. And this is a monthly figure, so 3,244 units per month. So yeah, this is a great way. This is kind of like how I got started with all of it. Like back in the day before Jungle Scout, I had kind of these algorithms, and this is how I do it. So it's definitely a very doable and possible way to do it. That being said, it is difficult to, you might not think it at first, but if you're sitting at your desk all day, it is pretty difficult to continue to think of product ideas, especially obscure product ideas, right? And that so what I'm in here is I'm inside the Jungle Scout web app, okay? And what the web app's a makeup of a few different products. So I have the product tracker, the product database, and the niche hunter here. All right. And what we've done inside of this tab that I'm on, the product database, is we've rebuilt Amazon's catalog way that is user friendly for sellers to search through. Okay. So like if I just go right here on Amazon, I for sellers. So that's like they're catering to shoppers here. So there's no way for like us to search for like good product ideas. So that's like the gap that the web app was trying to fill. India marketplaces. So if you're in the UK or Germany or Canada or wherever else, it also works for all those. I have US selected right now. But what I can do is I can look for some of these products that I gave the criteria for before on how to find them, or on the criteria that I gave earlier. I can look for those specific products that are on Amazon. So I'm going to start with like one of my favorite filters. All right. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select some of the categories that I'm interested in. So some crafts, some baby, beauty, those are cool. I don't really like cameras, phones, like electronics. I try to stay away from those. Let's see, health and personal care, home and garden, home and kitchen, home improvement. Those are all. So in the slides, that's at 20 to 60. But for here, since the more competitive stuff's usually, the more expensive stuff is usually less competitive now, I'm going to type in 30 here. Okay. 50 reviews. And one of the other things that I really like to add now is talk about like for 2017, it's a good opportunity to like make improvements to a product. It's something that gets like a relatively poor average star rating. Okay. So this is only going to show me products that sell for at least 30 bucks. I forgot to put this in here. Sell at least like 300 units per month, or let's say 200 because it is rate kind of bad. It's under 50 reviews, so it's pretty like young product, and it has kind of a bad rating, 3.7 stars. If I was looking at some of these products on Amazon, it would just show me 3.5 stars, like out of the 5 for the visual, that's like fairly bad. Like if you think like, would you ever really order anything off Amazon that has like 3.5 out of 5 stars? Probably not. I don't really. I look for the stuff with good reviews, right? And I imagine most people are like me. So we're gonna go ahead and search these, and I want to show you I want to talk to you real quick about like why some of these are good opportunities to private label and why some of these aren't. And saying that right now just reminds me of something. Most of the stuff I'm going to talk about during this webinar caters directly to private label sellers. And if you're like purchasing from a wholesaler, this is still like very useful. However, it's going to be a little bit different because you're probably like looking for the keywords of, say, like your particular brand or something like that. So what we're going to be talking about tonight mainly caters to private label sellers, which is my preferred method of selling on Amazon. So what am I left with here? Okay. Before we had like millions of results with these particular filters, it narrows it down to 950. So not too many to look through anymore. Okay. Looking through these now, I want to look for products that are, like good, potentially like good products for me to sell. So that means like they're probably like pretty simple. It looks like something that can source. It doesn't look like something that's like very like proprietary or like potentially like, trademarked. Usually like very unique proprietary items are more likely to be, not trademark, patented. So I want to kind of like stay away from those. So the first one draws to my eye here would be this potato chip rack. Now I have no idea if these are good. I didn't like choose any products before this. I'm just gonna kind of like go through some of these with you because it's not useful if I like were only to choose good products, right? You guys need to know like why the bad ones are bad and why the good ones are good. So I have no idea what these are, but we'll go ahead and click them. So the reason that I'm not clicking like water filters, that seems like something that's like pretty difficult. It's made in the USA, which I don't really have any experience like manufacturing in the USA. Also, like people's drinking waters are going through that. It's like me personally, that seems like ability, right? If like if they make some of these filters kind of wrong and then it like poisons people, that's kind of scary. Selling like chip racks, that's not very scary to me. I can't think of how someone would get hurt with those. I'm just kind of looking through here and looking for items that like simple type items that like catch my eye. So, like a refrigerator or a dishwasher, those aren't very simple. Those things would be like a quality control nightmare when you're trying to deal with Chinese factories. And that's probably why they're getting bad reviews. I need like a relatively simple product for me to know how to like make the improvement on it, right? So, like if someone says like, hey, this thing doesn't get cold enough, like this refrigerator, it's like, I'm not smart enough to know like, okay, like then I need like a bigger compressor or like whatever else. Like, that's kind of like a hard improvement to make. Something that's like pretty simple, that's when it's like a little bit easier for like me to make an improvement, right? Like maybe someone was rated this bad because it wasn't big enough, right? It's like, okay, then I asked the factory to make it a little bit bigger. But saying that, I'm seeing there's a few with no reviews that are showing. So I'm just gonna change this to filter between 1 to 50 reviews. All right, so we'll go back down to where we were at. Again, like I said, I'm looking for like kind of simple products. Interesting, restaurant table base. Some of the stuff like looks like pretty big. Let's see. This chair is like pretty simple, but those look quite big, which to me says it would probably be a headache. Like I don't really know how I would improve on like these range hoods. Like I said, I'm not like kind of need to get like a mechanical engineer probably involved with that. But I will show you like some that are easy to improve upon. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just scrolling through here and I'm literally just looking at the picture. So, I want a picture of something simple because that's what would be easier to improve upon. So scrolling through here. Pillow, that's probably fairly easy. All right, why not? Let's look at a pillow too. All right, so now that I've found some of these products that have like kind of bad reviews, right? They all have, like I said, like the 3.5 out of 5 if you look at them, which I wouldn't buy anything off Amazon that was 3.5 stars, So the fact that these are all selling at least 200 units per month, even though they're rated poorly, it's like, okay, the people want these bad, even though they get poor ratings, right? So that's good. So let's look at some of these reviews and see why people are rating them 1 star. So what's so cool about this is like, I always think like back in the day, like 10, 20 years ago, whatever, these like huge corporations probably do like these big like studies, or they're like surveying the, send out surveys to the customers and like focus groups and all this kind of really expensive stuff to find out like what was wrong with their products. Now, like an average, everyday average Joe like me or you can just go in here, we can just read the bad reviews, and pretty quickly we can find out what's wrong with them and what we could do to improve them, right? So I'm just going to scan a few of these real quick. This one just looks like it's like too firm, hard as a rock, not comfortable, very uncomfortable, chemical smell. All right, let's look at some of the 2 stars. Overall, looks like pretty hard. What's it say? The material does not compress. It's not fluffy, hard to sleep on. So it looks like all the complaints here that they're too hard, too dense for me, a lot more dense than I thought. All right, so carefully, but it's pretty clear to me that people just think these things are too hard right now, right? So this would be a good example of a product that's easy for you to talk to a factory with and make improvements. So say, hey, instead of like, looks like this is a memory foam pillow. Instead of using the typical memory foam, can I use memory foam that's a lot softer? Okay. I'm sure there's like all kinds of like official classifications for like some kind of test or whatever about like how much the stuff compresses at, but I'm not really smart to know all that. So what I personally do is I'd say like, hey, I'm looking for something a little bit softer. Could you send me like 3 samples of memory foam that's softer than like your typical one, right? Because like I said, it's like you can get like pretty technical if you're like, oh yeah, I need whatever, something that meets this specific test. It's like, just send me a few samples. I'll just lay on all 3 and tell you which one I think is the most comfortable. So, all right. So this, like I said, this is a good example of a product that, I love product bad reviews. It's something I could easily improve upon. And this is like an age-old, like great business practice to like take something that, people like a little bit, is selling well, and improve upon it. Like that's never going away. That's an age-old great business technique. So I have figured out that, this does seem like something I can improve upon. So far I'm liking this, but let's check like what's the overall demand of the niche and what's the overall competition niche-wide. So I'm just going to type in here, memory foam pillow. All right. So like I was saying earlier, like it's pretty hard to come up with those product ideas if you're sitting in your office. Like I think I've seen a memory foam pillow before, but I personally probably wouldn't think of it. But what's cool about this is it kind of like spit you out, all these like potential opportunities. So, before I started with kind of like no ideas, I narrowed it down to a bunch of those. We're going to look at a few of these. But now I want to see like, what's the competition and demand like niche wide. So I showed you earlier the free tool, the estimator. That definitely works. It can be kind of tedious if you're typing in products one by one. So if any of you guys have the Jungle Scout extension, I would of course recommend to use that. If you don't, I'll give you a link at the end of the webinar that you can use to purchase it if you'd like. So what this does, instead of typing in products one by one, instead I can just, I think you probably saw me, I click this little button up here in Chrome, it opened this window, and inside this window, it gives a whole bunch of like the key pieces of information I need to decide whether this is a good opportunity for me or not. So what do I have here? I have, the product name, brand, price, category, rank, estimated sales. Estimated sales I care about a lot because that is like how much demand, right? Like I was saying earlier, just sell products that already sell well. Don't try to, let's see, I think I clicked one of the column headers, sorry. Don't try to like make up what you think is going to be the best product, all right? Just sell what these people are already buying. So, and it looks like people are buying a lot of memory foam pillows. He's selling 2,300 units per month, 700 a month, 1,200 a month, 3,100 a month. So there's a lot of demand for these memory foam pillows if you get ranked up in these top spots, right? So definitely like checks the box for like how much demand it has. But next thing we're looking at is like, okay, how competitive is this particular product? And or this particular niche. All right. So for this particular niche, it's pretty competitive. Like I said, the easiest way to gauge how like mature or how competitive a niche is the number of reviews. It's definitely not the only way, but this particular niche, it has a that have under 40 reviews. So if we look at these, there actually are two with under 40 reviews. But when I look at these other ones, like, wow, 3,600, 900, 1,100, 8,300 reviews. That's so many reviews. So like this listing's probably been around for a long time. And it's harder to outrank these listings that are very mature on Amazon. Amazon tends to favor them over brand new listings. So this would get a big X for me in the competition box. Okay, like this is too competitive. I wouldn't be willing to enter this particular niche. It looks like, yeah, and actually that the product we're looking at doesn't even look like it's on this front page because only one guy has 3.5 stars. And that doesn't look like the product we're looking at before. So I'm just going to show you there's like a lot of sellers for this. Yeah. All right, so we looked at this one. Let's go ahead and look at a couple more examples just so you guys can kind of like get inside my brain. You like watch over my shoulder here of what the good products are, like what's working nowadays, which ones are, which products are winning. So what the heck even are these? Silicone dab containers. I honestly have no idea what this is. We're going to search this and see what shows up. Oops. All right. Some of you guys are probably sitting on the webinar laughing at me because I don't know what these are, but I'm learning. All right. I still don't know what these are, but let's look at a few. First thing, I'm just going to try to figure out what this thing is. It looks like wax container. You put your wax in here. Maybe this, I don't know. I'm not going to try to say anything else because I know there's people out there laughing at me. They don't know what these are. But anyway, some kind of little silicone storage jar, container, whatever. So I searched for what I thought was the main keyword. I'm going to go ahead and run the Jungle Scout extension here to see what the demand and competition is like. And then if all that checks out, then we'll start reading some of those bad reviews and see what types of improvements we can make. So right away, I see like a few red flags. So one is the price point here is pretty low. Remember I was saying earlier that you'll find a lot of like the less competitive stuff and the stuff that like I like a lot better is at higher price points now. It's like 20, 25, 30 or higher. It looks like most of these, especially the ones that are selling well, like this one that's selling the best is only $6. That's pretty hard to compete with, even though it's only a 4-pack. The top ones here are $10, $5.50, $9. So this is like a pretty inexpensive price point. You may be able to do like this guy does, and looks like he has a 100-pack, and then it puts it at $35, which is a lot better. It looks like he's only selling 160 a month, which doesn't excite me. I like to sell products that are going to sell hundreds and hundreds per month. But that being said, so like demand isn't great. It's good, but not great. The price point is too low unless you want to do a 50 or 100-pack, but the competition's very slim, right? So competition's 30, 20, number of reviews. The top guy's 93, but after that, like 30, 20, 50, 47, 19. So that goes to show me like these dab containers, whatever that is, haven't been around for very long. And therefore, like this isn't that competitive of a niche. I could get into this pretty easily, right? This guy up here, he's not even FBA, so this isn't even Prime eligible, and he's like in the number 5 spot. So it's like, yeah, I could sell this pretty easily. So this might be like a good beginner product if you're just like testing the waters with Amazon. But yeah, don't expect to sell 500 units of this every month. And keep in mind, you need like big sets to be at a good price point. One other thing we'll look at is, let's see, which one were we looking at? I was getting 3.5 stars. Looks like it was probably this one. So let's see why this is ranked 3.5 stars and see if there's maybe something we can easily improve upon. All right. Ordered 100 is only delivered 90. All right. That's something that easily fix. Just make sure there's 100 in a pack. All right. It looks like this is what people are upset about. There wasn't 100 units in each box. Took an extremely long time to ship. So this was actually, so there's like, it seems like no one had any problems with the particular product. There's just either 100 in there or like it probably wasn't FBA because it was too slow to ship. So those are easy things to fix. But I don't know if that would quite be like a differentiator enough to like beat the other products that are getting good reviews. So if we go back here, it's like these guys at the top, they are getting good reviews, 4.5, 4, 4.5, 3.5, 4, 4, 4. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to do one more example just in case. Hopefully the next one is a winner, but we will see. Chip potato display rack. So real quick, first, since we're on this page, let's see what's wrong with this thing. Let me look at the bad reviews. Cheaply made, came with weld broke. All right, so seems kind of janky. The weld was broken when they got it. The top bends. Welds were breaking at the bottom, bends very easily. All right, so for me, this is like a pretty easy one to fix, okay? So if we look at the construction of this thing, this is really easy, right? It's like a wire with some little clips welded to it. Not much to it. So what I could easily do if I found a factory making chip clip display towers, whatever we want to call this thing, I'd say like, hey, instead of using 1/4 inch thick wire right here, I want something like a little bit thicker. Or, I'm sure they're millimeters, so it's like, hey, instead of 5 millimeter, I want 7 millimeter thick wire. Or hey, instead of 5 millimeter, I want 10 millimeter thick wire. That isn't going to add that much expense to this particular product. This thing probably only costs a few dollars to make. However, now, like we said, this guy was selling, let's see how many one particular one's selling. A lot. Wow. Okay, so this thing's selling over 2,000 units a month, which is crazy. I shouldn't have shown this one to you guys. I should just start selling it. But this one's selling really well. It gets pretty bad reviews, and it's at a really good price point. Even after Amazon fees, there's $19 left over. And like I said, you could probably like source this thing for a few dollars. Just out of curiosity, let's just look at it real quick. So I'm just going to go to Alibaba. I'm going to look for chip display rack. Chip display rack. Maybe wire or chip clip, maybe. All right, so okay, this one's probably pretty close to it. So there's a much bigger. Oh, here's one. All right, so it looks like about $10 to $15 or so. Which seems a little high to me. I could be wrong though. But anyway, so what I would do is, like I'll contact this factory. I'd say like, hey, like what thickness is your wire right now? And then I just ask for something like a little bit thicker. Like I just, if you're using 5 millimeter right now, it's like, hey, do you have 7 millimeter thick wire available or 10 millimeter thick wire available? And then if you're selling this exact same thing, especially the same price point, and you're getting like 5 out of 5 stars for this, I guarantee you would take like almost all of this particular seller's sales, or like at least a lot of them. So this would be like a pretty good product to do that. One last thing I'm going to check though is like, are other people selling these well, or is this just kind of like one particular rogue product? So let's see, what would we say? Chip display rack. Let's see what this thing looks like. All right, that looks correct. Those are all chip display racks. I'm going to run Jungle Scout on it so I know how much each of these products are selling per month. And overall, Looks like great price point, right? A little bit higher, so it's no shock that it's not as competitive. Some of these are selling really well, like this one and this one. The others aren't so much. So I need to dig in a little bit deeper, like why do people like the ones that are selling well and why are some not selling well? When I say not selling well, like 50 or 100, 200 a month. And then this is like a no-brainer for competition. This thing isn't competitive at all. You could easily launch a brand new listing and get in here really quick. So yeah, that's kind of some of the like examples. I would want to kind of give you like guys like an over the shoulder look of like how I'm doing my product research, what's working well now, like in 2017. So like something like this chip potato rack, this would work really well this year. Okay. I can make like an easy improvement from the factory. It's very non-competitive. It'd be very easy to get your product ranked here. Something else I didn't even talk about is like the quality of the listings. This listing is not very good. You could easily take some better photos. He's only using 3 out of the 5 bullet points. I guarantee the description's bad. Yeah, the description's bad. So this is the kind of thing that you need to be looking for at like 2017. Like the sayings like the riches are in the niches. And that's very much true. So, like a chip potato stand. This is something I would never think of, like just sitting on like my desk chair. So, like obscure products like this, it's really good if you can make a small improvement to it. And yeah, this is the kind of thing that's like working now. And what I would recommend to you guys. So with that being said, John, what do you think? Do we have some questions in the chat box? Is there anything you'd like me to talk a little bit more about, or what do you think?
Yeah, I'm getting them right now. Some sent me some earlier, so I'm kind of typing them for you.
Sweet.
Here's one. Here's the first one. You can answer that. I got more.
All right. Let me see here.
You see it yet?
I wonder why I can't see the chat. I might need to stop sharing for 1 second. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Stop share. Oh, yeah, I guess I can't view it while sharing screen for some reason. All right. All right. So first question is, using the Jungle Scout web app and Chrome extension as you described will only give you top 10 results for one keyword correct. Good question. I'm going to go ahead and read the other one. I'm going to answer both of them. So like, should you try other keywords for that same product to get a better understanding of the market for that product? That's also a good question. So 2 questions are like, how many results does the extension give you? And should you try other keywords? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, just so you guys, again, can look over my shoulder while I'm doing this. All right, you should be able to see it now. So when I click the extension here, one question was how many results does it give you? So right now it gives me all of the results on the first page. So this particular niche, Amazon just chooses to display 16, but I can just click this button if I want. It'll give me all of the products from the second page, okay? That being said, I usually don't get the products from the second page because, they're not as relevant. And kind of most of the methods I've come up with, like to choose these good niches, you really just can look at like the top 10 products or the first page worth of products. Let's see. The other question was, should you do other keywords? And the answer to this is I usually don't, okay? You can, and let's just do one together real quick. So I call this thing a chip display rack. Let's see what other people are calling it. Chip display rack, countertop rack for chips. Let's just say counter chip rack, just to try something different. So what you'll probably see here is it's more or less the same as far as like, okay. So it looks like for this particular one, again, it's still very non-competitive. It looks like a few of those bestseller items aren't showing up for this particular keyword. The reason that I usually just like go with what I think is like the most relevant keyword and not worry about it from there is because, like it looks like those 2 bestsellers aren't even ranking for these keywords. But, like I know that since I do good keyword research that like I should be able to rank for about any relevant keyword. So it gets pretty like confusing, I think, like unnecessarily once you start thinking like, oh, maybe I should look for like a whole bunch of different keywords. Instead, I just go with what I think should be the most relevant one. All right, now I can see the chat, which is good. What are the best practices now for a new product launch? Do a detailed paper report about this. I did write something on the Jungle Scout blog, maybe on the Jump Send blog. If you check the Jungle Scout and jumpsend.com blog, it's on one of those, but I'll give you the quick rundown. It's pretty easy, okay? So I've launched probably 6 or 8 products now since like the October 3rd doomsday in Amazon, no more incentivized reviews. So it's very doable, and I think I've come up with a pretty good system. So I still do product giveaways when I launch a new product, okay? So just to confirm, you definitely are still allowed to do product giveaways on Amazon, or with Amazon products. You can still use coupons. You still can give products away at a discount. What you cannot do and the reason this is important, so of course, like I use Jump Send since it's our product, but you can use whatever you want to do. This big picture is you have to get sales to rank on Amazon. If you launch a brand new listing and a brand new product, you're lost like on page 1 million. You'll probably never ever be seen without starting to get sales. So there's 2 good ways to get sales. One is with PPC, and one is using like a deal site like Jump Send, or there's like Facebook groups, or like however else you want to drive sales to your product. I don't care. What's important is you have to get sales. All right. So to start off, I would give away like 6 or 8 units per day, pretty much until my product was ranking where I wanted it to. So if you choose something not very competitive, it will probably only take you a few days to rank well. If you chose like a really competitive niche, it might take you like a few weeks to rank well. All right. So like I said, PPC and the giveaways. With the PPC, I just like make my bids pretty high to make sure I'm ranking well. And just keep in mind, during these first few weeks, you're gonna lose money, okay? These are just like marketing expenses. You're not gonna be selling these products at a profit. You're just trying to get sales so you rank well. So for the first few weeks, I just know I'm gonna lose money. I plan on it, that's fine. With the idea, keeping in mind that for the next, for the months and years after that, I'm going to be making profit. So, yeah, and then the reviews just come organically, right? So, some of those people who purchase at a discount may leave you a review. Some people that purchase with PPC may leave you a review. Of course, I recommend turning on like an email autoresponder to asking for reviews from all these people. But it's the whole removing incentivized reviews things didn't like mess it up that much. I was a lot more worried until I launched a few products and they've all gone fine. Now I don't even care about incentivized reviews, or I'm not even disappointed. I used Keyword Inspector, I think like a year or 2 ago, like once. I'm not quite sure like the best ways to tie it in, just because I'm not very familiar with it. I think like you can definitely do like in-depth product research like with just Jungle Scout, but of course like I'm a little bit biased. But yeah, if anyone has a good way to tie it in, it'd be cool to share it. Is there a printout of this, like taking product reviews and making it better? I don't have anything like prepared for the webinar. If you do go to Jungle Scout and go to their free resources, I've talked about something like similar to this. Like this is my new strategy for this year. So there's like tons of free resources there that you can check out, videos and blog posts and ebooks and all that kind of stuff. I think What do you think? Did I miss anything?
I don't think. Is there any more questions that you guys have for Greg while we still have him here with us? I keep going in and out for some reason. We're having storms here, so it's kind of messing with my internet. You're fine though. I don't hear anybody saying that you're going out, but
Okay.
that's why I'm not putting myself on the screen because you'll see a head come in, head come out, head come in.
No worries.
You guys have any more questions for Greg?
I will say while we're waiting.
They must have all the answers, Greg. You must have done a really good job, and you gave them all the answers they needed.
Fantastic. I will say if anyone's watching in this or the replay and you are interested in purchasing one of the tools we talked about, you can do so at junglescout.com/John. It'll take you to a landing page there where you can find out more about Jungle Scout and purchase if you do decide to do so. Like I said, also just on the Jungle Scout site, there's just like tons and tons of free resources. So if nothing else, I think they're definitely worth checking out. The tool we talked about earlier that's for free, you can find at junglescout.com/estimator. And then of course it's listed kind of in the free resources section there too. All right.
I'm putting
Don
in
has
that for him too.
Okay, cool. So
other than the on-screen stuff, any of those tools that you said that you recommended, like the ones for the reviews and things like that, can you print them in the chat so they have them there too?
Yeah, sure. How about I'll just put it right here in the box.
Okay.
You can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So jumpsend.com, that's another one of our products. Like I said, JumpSend is a tool that has a deal site with it. So every day there's about 60 or 70,000 shoppers looking for deals. So if we just went to it right now, I'm going to pull this up. So there's two parts of JumpSend. One is the deal site. Let me just do this. So on the deal site, like I said, we have like 60, 70,000 shoppers every day looking for deals. So you can list your products on this site to get sales to these bargain hunters, right? So this is a great way to get additional sales for your product, especially when you're starting out. So, all these people are shopping here because this guy's offering it for like 50% off or 75% off or whatever. So this works really well. Like this person is giving 50% off. He'll probably get like hundreds of requests today and he can give away as many coupons as he wants. And that helps him get additional sales. So that's really important to start ranking when a product's brand new.
So that's called jumpspend.com. Frozen again.
And the other big feature with JumpSend is the email automation. So, like every time someone purchases one of my jungle sticks, JumpSend automatically sends them a 3 email series. So the first one like gives them I think like a recipe on how to make marshmallows. The second one just like asks to make sure everything's going okay, and then politely, or like in the PS, ask for a review. And then the last one's like a little bit more like direct about asking for a review. So without like an email follow-up sequence like this, John, is just jump send SEND.
Yeah, I'm retyping it.
Okay. So without like sending email follow-ups like this, only usually about like 2 or 3% of listings will get reviews. But with sending, 2 or 3% of sales will get reviews. With sending an email follow-up like this, most people see around 10, 11, 12% of their sales will result in a review, which is obviously a huge improvement. So yeah, if you want to check out like our other tools, that's one. We also have Fetcher.com, which is Fetcher.com, which is a profit analytics tool. That's like the screenshot that you saw with our profit. Sure. And then the last tool in the Jungle Scout suite is called Splitly. You can check that out at Splitly.com. And Splitly is a A/B testing tool for Amazon listings. So you can split test Sorry, it's kind of ugly now. But anyway, you can split test products. Split test anything you want on the listing. So you can split test like the main image or the title or whatever else. And for those of you who aren't familiar with split testing, percent more sales than this image. So yeah, it's a really cool tool. And yeah, that's like splitly.com. You go there, of course. There's so much to talk about, but yeah, you can look at all this if you choose to do so. It's an excellent way to increase conversions and really optimize your listing. All right.
What was the last one out of, hang on, I'm just going to put that one in Splitly.
Yeah, sure.
So it's SPLA, just like it sounds. Okay. I think I got them all now.
Fantastic.
You guys have any more questions before we let Greg go? Kind of letting them off early tonight, guys. We usually like to go an hour. You're getting them off the hook too early.
I guess everyone's ready for dinner. They want to get rid of me. Oh, yeah, he asked this earlier and I didn't respond to it. So Don asked, what more can you say about further research you do on a product before making the leap to sell? All right, so I'll show you or kind of tell you a little bit more about what I do. So before I make the leap to sell, there's a few things I look for. I look for like ongoing sales. The Jungle Scout. So what I'll do, and there is like a manual way to do this, but which one were you looking at? Whatever, doesn't matter. I'll find a product, I'll put it in here, and this tracks it real time on a daily basis to show you what the inventory and sales were for that particular day. So let's see what this guy is up to. Didn't look like he has much inventory. I'm trying to find a prettier one for you. Whatever. Anyway, this shows you what the inventory was at every day. The green line's how the best sellers rank change, and the orange is the estimate or the units sold for that particular day. So the reason I track a product like this before I actually like pull the trigger and send a few $1,000s to China is I want to make sure like it wasn't just artificially inflated for a few days, right? So maybe like there was, like for example, like if I was selling, I don't know, like something for a holiday, right? That's gonna be like artificially inflated on the days like it was just like a huge spike for one day. Okay, so that's one thing that I do. Another thing that I do is I check out Google Trends. So this is just a free tool you can use. If I go to Google Trends, I can see how this particular item has trended over the years, seasons, and months. So if I type in chip rack, I can see is this thing getting more popular over time, less popular, about the same. So over the past 5 years, it looks like it's stayed pretty consistent on a year-to-year basis. And then if I look at the past like year, I can see like what are the most popular months. And actually, it looks like this is pretty consistent, which is good. Just so you guys have something to compare it to. Let me actually do it over here. Let me do my marshmallow sticks. All right. And my marshmallow sticks, pretty interesting. Let's see we're on the 12-month time frame. Okay, so yeah, this doesn't surprise me then. So you can see which month is the most popular. So right now is the slowest time for marshmallow sticks, which I knew because sales have been pretty slow the past 2 months. And then the most popular, it looks like right before Christmas, or it looks like in the fall times, like October, November, December, and then leading up to 4th of July. That's what I found, and kind of Google Trends confirms that. So you see like it's pretty low during these months right here and over here. And then it's higher, you know, in May, June, July, and then in the fall time before Christmas. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I look at this before I purchase a product. And then the one other thing I think about is like, are there any potential legal problems with this? So, I check to see like whether the product's patented, which, I haven't had to like hire any attorneys to be sure. For example, like you could just search for like marshmallow stick patents, and a lot of times that will show up, the other way to do it, it's like you see this like Google patent sites. That's a good one. The U.S. Patent Office, which I think is USPTO. You can search on here, USPTO.gov. You can search for a patent there. The other way, like without even having to search for it, is like, okay, like how like unique or proprietary is this item, and how many other people are selling it? Like when I look at these chip clips, like I don't see anything like unique or proprietary about these, right? It's like a little springy clip thing, like on a wire. There's not much you can patent with that. If I look at like a very unique product, like someone was showing to me this other day, Hobie like pedal system. I don't know what these are called for sure, but they're like these things. Hobie, let's just say Hobie pedals. It's called Mirage Drive. That's the official. I'm just giving you like the other side of the spectrum, right? So like when I look at this thing, like only Hobie's selling it. There's no like private label sellers, or there's no one else, right? And then if you just look at like, this is like a very like unique setup, right? It has these pedals, it has like some crazy looking fins, kind of like the chain drive on it. Like to me right away, this jumps out and being like, whoa, this is definitely like patented, right? This is a very like unique system. If I look at like, again, I keep using marshmallow sticks. Let's just say like, other thing. Let's just say like water bottle.
You were using marshmallow sticks, so I had to eat a marshmallow.
Oh, nice. When I look at these, it's like, okay, there's lots of people selling like a very similar product, right? Which then, made me think like, okay, it'd be less likely that particular product is patented. So yeah, and then a lot of time, like people would like want to brag about it if they do have a patent, right? So a lot of times it'll be right in the Amazon listings or on that person's website. So yeah, those are things I do before I take the leap and send all my money to China.
Yeah, the one thing that I noticed on your first example you did way back about the pillow is a very competitive market, but what happens with Amazon with pillows, and we've bought different pillows, and the listing and what the listing is and what you actually get could be a counterfeit of someone that jumped on the listing, and it affects their reviews. So those reviews a lot of times are not accurate because of the pillow or the item that you're getting, regardless of what it is. Being private label may not be the item that the listing actually has. It could be someone that has a fake on there, which happens all the time. We see it all the time when we try to buy stuff. It's like, you know what? And it's, we understand that as sellers because we're sellers, but the average customer doesn't understand that, you're trying to buy something, which is the right thing, but Amazon, not knowing it, is sending the wrong thing because you've got fake sellers on there that's selling fake goods.
Right.
And those reviews are very hard to get rid of.
Oh yeah, very hard.
We find that on our own private label type products that when we get those reviews, Amazon, especially like you said from China, it makes it real difficult from China because Amazon, what do they want you to do? Well, buy it, have it come back to you, take pictures of it, and give images to Amazon so that you can prove it. But what happens is it takes 4 to 6 weeks for that product to get here. By the time it gets here, it's already ruined your listing, and you've got a case opened up where you got to fight Amazon about it. So it's not as easy when you're in competitive markets, I would say. If you're not in such a competitive market, then it's probably a lot less resilient. What we found, and it's the opposite of what you're doing, John and I, we're trying to narrow down and not sell. I mean, it's different than what you're saying, not sell as much of that product when you want to be in a competitive market, but raise your profit margins where you can still compete with it. And we found by changing our strategy, that's been working effective. We're selling less, but making more money on the less that we're, you know what I mean? So it's kind of offsetting each other a little bit.
more products with less like units sold each day.
Yeah, and what happens is
Higher margins.
we kept the fake merchants off of the radar. They're not looking at us anymore. We were selling 300-400 a day, and now all of a sudden we might sell 50 to 75 a day. We're okay with that, but they're not, because they want that high volume, so they leave us alone type of deal.
Yeah. Cool.
Like I said, some of the areas that are very competitive can be very profitable, but you just gotta. And we also put, it's our brand, and we put things with it to try to make it difficult for them to jump on it. But even with that, when we were doing the large volume, they found ways to jump on it. And in fourth quarter, when you get bad review because they're jumping on your listing, and you want to fight Amazon for it, it's very difficult. And especially in fourth quarter, you lost all that prime sales until they investigate.
Yeah, it can be frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sure you experienced some of that. You must have. I mean, we all do.
Yep, for sure. It's just it's part of business, right? There's always gonna be a few headaches. If it was too easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the growing pains. I mean, you gotta take the good with the bad, and as long as the good outweighs the bad, then you're good to go.
I agree.
Hey, it looks like we don't have any more questions. We had a flood of people come in at the last few minutes, so I was kind of concerned that they thought it was 7 o'clock Central instead of 6 Central, because the numbers kept climbing as we got closer to the hour. It seemed like we had more and more people coming in at that last minute. So for the ones that did come in last minute, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to keep Greg here any longer. And the replay will be up and available by sometime tomorrow. I'll make sure I get that up.
Great.
It said 7 o'clock Central on everything I got. Must be the meds. Sorry, Linda. Must be the meds I'm still taking for my pain in my tooth. But most of the things I sent out, I'll have to look at that. I could have sworn it said 6 o'clock Central, but if it didn't, then I apologize for that. And again, I will make sure that everybody's on here, or everyone that did register will get the complete replay of this, so that they have it along with the chat. We don't want to keep Greg any longer, I don't think. I couldn't figure out why you had already started when I got here early.
Whoops.
Yeah. Sorry, if I did put 7 o'clock, I'm so sorry that I actually put 7 o'clock Central. This one says 7 o'clock Eastern, so we've got some saying 7 Central and 7 Eastern, so I'm not sure what it was. Where's the best coffee so far, Greg?
Best coffee so far. I like the coffee in Bali. They
All right, guys. I'm so sorry if I got the times messed up. I will get this to you, I promise, and you will not miss anything that Greg had to say tonight, and all the great information, and especially the examples that he gave us tonight. Again, I'm sorry. I've been going through a root canal issue where I got to have a tooth pulled and been in a lot of pain. I'm amazed that I actually did this webinar tonight. If I did mess up the times, again, I apologize, but I will make sure I get this over to you ASAP as soon as it's done and the replay is up. I will get it to you. Thanks, Greg.
All
for
right.
a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on.
Here.
I've enjoyed it. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye.